dkdynamite, and tonight we're going to be talking about something that really has me worried for Black Ops 7 Zombies, and that's a discussion surrounding a classic mode that should be coming at launch. Definitely stay tuned. Now, personally, something I wanted to get out of the way real quick is that I do believe COD Next should have actually showcased the upcoming curse mode and at least have given us a screenshot of what could be some classic HUD presets that will also be available in November. I think that almost would have been more productive than the Ashes of the Dam limited play session that we all got for about 30 minutes. Still grateful to have played a good portion of the map minus 2 points of interest, but I feel like not much marketing has been provided about some of the most controversial topics that people have really been asking about. Luckily though, it's been confirmed by Treyarch that a Zombies dev talk is coming this week. As of recording this, it's Thursday the 16th. I do believe this dev talk is going to drop no later than tomorrow, October the 17th, so a Friday. I'll be breaking that down in a separate video. It's just unknown as to what that dev talk is going to focus on. I'd assume they're probably going to give a little bit of info about the Cursed Classic mode and probably some other details to just elaborate further on what was revealed over at COD Next. But there's still a couple of weeks before the launch of BO7, so of course lots of opportunities to still do some separate dedicated blogs, as we're still expecting one when it comes to progression, prestige, and a couple of other components they haven't talked too much about. Then again, when it comes to zombies, I do like the idea of that mystery when you first spawn in. I like not knowing too much. However, I still think there are some questions worth answering, as we're going to be focusing on in this commentary. So to circle back for just a second, the initial reveal blog for Black Ops 7 Zombies did confirm classic HUD presets. Now, as far as what those presets are going to be is totally up in the air right now, but there's a number of leaks that have popped up on Twitter suggesting that we're going to be seeing lots of classic HUDs that we actually had back in Black Ops 3, like the initial HUD from Shadows of Evil, the one we saw in the Giant, and some round-based maps after that, while there's some other HUD presets that I believe mock-up sketches were done for based on the leaks. Not going to show them on screen for obvious copyright reasons and just to respect the developers who haven't revealed this yet, but it does look like we're going to be getting a ton of HUDs. Now, recent rumors have also suggested that some of these could be locked behind some microtransactions. Again, that is completely unconfirmed, but I honestly wouldn't be shocked if they end up selling them individually or offer some HUDs in future bundles or something. So I do think a classic HUD certainly puts us in the right direction for getting that classic Zombies feel back into the mix, but there was a leak that came out just before the initial reveal of Black Ops 7 Zombies that was posted by the Ghost of Hope. As it says, exclusive, BO7 Zombies will launch with standard mode and classic mode, which is called Cursed. The classic mode is planned to have its own separate wall buys, mystery box, and allowed weapon list, no minimap, a perk limit of 4, no exfil, a classic point system, starting with a pistol, and the removal of armor. But even when rumors make up some pretty cool discussions for a video like this, it's still worth reminding everybody that you gotta take these rumors with a grain of salt. Don't set yourself up for disappointment when rumors don't end up becoming reality. Now, the thing is, as we're going to dive into in just a minute, a couple of these bullet points were already confirmed. The others were not, however. But from the way it sounds, people out there are pretty happy about this. I mean, if this ends up being how Curse mode works, once you combine a bunch of relics together, then sure, you get a classic mode. But that's also kind of problematic in and of itself, since this won't be the standard Zombies gameplay that everybody's going to have on launch until people go ahead and actually unlock the experience where you can play like this. But something I'm hoping for is that if the Cursed Classic mode is done right, I just hope people play the hell out of it. I just hope it's really well received to where they're like, let's finally change the formula permanently after 5-6 games of the same type of gameplay. Let's make Black Ops 8 Zombies in 2028 just back down to the basics, kind of like a classic/curse mode, except that'll make up the core fundamental gameplay, excluding the relic challenges you can add. But a big issue I wanted to highlight in this video is the expectation that those recent rumors about classic mode have already started. Now, that rumor that I showcased on screen did pop up before the BO7 Zombies reveal and also before COD Next. The big reveal blog post did give a little bit of info about Cursed Classic mode, but it didn't quite match what that original leak said. But who knows, maybe when they end up fully revealing this or when we play it for ourselves, everything will end up lining up with what that original leak did mention. But the expectation so far is that we are getting classic zombies back in Black Ops 7, when in reality it's an extra mode that you can unlock after doing XYZ in standard mode, and once you're in this extra experience called Cursed, you can play something close to classic zombies with a couple of modifiers, but for the most part, the mode itself is meant to be more challenging than standard, so if anything, it won't really be played as like the standard mode for most people, and it might not be the mode that people are going to be camel grinding in either, which would probably mean significantly less players are in Cursed compared to, let's say, standard or directed. I'm just worried that once folks play the curse mode for the very first time, everyone's gonna say, wait a second, you had to do some pretty tedious task or a quest to unlock this, and then once we actually made it into the mode, it wasn't really like classic mode after all. It had a couple of classic mechanics like only spawning in with the pistol, no loadouts, a classic point system like we saw in BO3, but for the most part, it was still standard zombies with extra relic challenge modifiers that you're able to apply to the gameplay in that mode. But something big I wanted to remind you guys about is back during, I believe it was Season 1 of Black Ops 6, that's actually when the classic mode discussion initially started for the Modern Zombies experience. Some data mines out there did pop up, suggesting that a classic mode was in the works. And some folks had said, including myself, that Jingle Hells was kind of the closest to a classic experience, which I feel like wasn't all that fun to play. It was far too challenging. Some people may have liked it, and that's totally cool, but it looks like work on this Cursed Classic mode began a long time ago. So with all the work that's probably gone into it, I'm really curious to see how all this comes into fruition that tries to balance and juggle the best of classic and modern zombie mechanics. So from the way they've explained Curse Mode according to the Black Ops 7 blog, let's break this down bit by bit. So as Treyarch mentioned, take on a new experience featuring some legacy mechanics with numerous side quests to unearth increasingly potent and cursed relics, activate these relics to face harder challenges in exchange for new levels of power, replayability, and rewards. This kind of reminds me of two different things actually. First, we have the relics from Extinction, which made the game harder, but you were rewarded with more teeth for beating an Extinction mission if you had a relic on when you beat it, and you can use those teeth to then further upgrade your person. So that's probably what this is like, on top of the death cards from World at War, which also made the campaign harder if you just wanted to challenge yourself. And I think it goes without saying that classic zombies was absolutely harder than modern zombies for a number of different reasons, and this mode is going to be going back to some of those mechanics to add that layer of challenge for the hardcore players out there. The blog does say that this was crafted for more hardcore players with new layers of challenge to discover and for challenges to overcome for access to unique rewards. So from how they've explained Curse Mode, you're going to be unlocking it after fulfilling some type of criteria inside of Ashes of the Damned. Could be just beating the main quest, could be, let's say, hitting a certain round, doing a speed run, doing a certain side objective. We're unsure what that criteria is, but the barrier of entry with this, to me, is going to almost make or break the mode, because if folks out there are like, hey, I want to play classic zombies, will they get better at the game or put in the work to do something tedious to access this? I'm assuming if they care, then they will, but if it's something that's pretty tough to actually unlock, then I feel like that will ultimately hurt the mode going forward. But once you're in this curse mode, it does sound like all that's going to be different is that you won't have a loadout, you'll just have a starting pistol, while you're also going to be seeing a classic point system, where the weapon you're using does actually matter with how many points you're accumulating, as we saw back in Black Ops 3. But you're gonna have to find these relics around the environment, probably like the items we had to uncover in Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, which were then used to go ahead and craft a portal into the Dark Ether. And two of the relics revealed so far do the following things. One relic will give you a limit of just 4 Perca-Colas, while another relic is gonna remove ammo caches around the map. Now don't worry, you can host private matches of Curse Mode once you've unlocked it, even if your friends didn't, and they could just join you with some of these challenge modifiers. But to look back at that Ghost of Hope leak for a second, there's other bullet points that again were not addressed in the initial blog reveal for BO7 Zombies. I feel like other relics will simply disable the exfil system, or will remove armor completely, which could explain why that was initially leaked out in his report. They also mentioned we won't have a mini-map, so that's probably going to make it even harder to kind of navigate through the big Ashes of the Damned space. And they also said that they're going to be supporting this mode in future DLC experiences, as more relics are also going to be added into the game. It's unknown if there'll be exclusive relics for certain round-based maps, or if a big set of relics can just be applied to any map that you're playing. But you're probably wondering, what's actually the point of adding this level of challenge to your gameplay? Well, apart from making high rounds harder or just making the game more difficult for yourself, I do think it'll come down to beating the Easter egg with these relics enabled to get what they're calling classified benefits and rewards. Now, it looks like these rewards and benefits are unique to the mode. It's unclear if you could then take these benefits and rewards into the standard mode because you played Cursed, or are these items just for the Curse mode going forward? So there's very little that we understand about how this mode is truly going to work, and that's fine if we have to wait until the full launch to really uncover this, but it definitely sounds like it is a hardcore version of round-based zombies with some added classic elements to it, but it's simply not a case of, hey, it's a classic mode in BO7 that you could just jump into day one and just play as if you were on BO3 without that extra layer of challenge applied. So with the extra layer of challenge we're going to see in the mode, I think it's really all going to come down to what the rewards truly are. If the rewards are going to be something in the same vein as, let's say, the zombie leaderboard events from BO6, where it's just gobblegums or an emblem, I don't think this mode's gonna do all that great, nor will it be well received. The player count's gonna be pretty minuscule compared to, let's say, standard, directed, or anything else, and I also think this could be a successor to what custom mutations were supposed to be back in Black Ops 4, since it was heavily implied, and I think even leaked, that at one point in time, Treyarch was gonna offer this weekly challenge type system that applied custom mutation modifiers to your game, and if you spawned into that and beat whatever the challenge was with the custom mutations enabled, you'd get some rewards. This could be something that maybe is infused with weekly challenges inside of Black Ops 7, to where the challenges in zombies every week are kind of related to the curse mode. I mean, they don't have to be, but it would be cool if every couple of weeks they're like, hey, you gotta do something while playing curse mode specifically, while there'll be other weekly challenges available that allow you to play standard or anything else that you want. I do think it's cool that they're already committing to supporting this curse mode for the entire post-launch cycle, as they did with directed mode back in BO6. And this could even relate a bit to the recent controversy with multiplayer, where because of the positive feedback to open mosh pit inside of the beta, they made that the standard for matchmaking for the launch of Black Ops 7 and beyond. Hopefully all future Call of Duties will follow suit. I'm not saying it'll be easy to where they flip on a switch and say, okay guys, Curse Classic Mode will be the standard experience for Black Ops 7 Zombies in the future. That's probably far too complicated for them to actually go ahead and engineer and shift that quick. So I think the best bet is that if this mode is well received, they'll take those classic mechanics into account to hopefully make them standard mechanics for, let's say, their next COD in 2028. But in all, we're still looking at modern zombies within Black Ops 7. However, there's an extra mode you could unlock that I think is going to make people really happy, because it does have classic mechanics, but it truly is a mode meant for hardcores. Not quite sure how the casuals are going to respond to this, especially when it's not going to be a mode that sounds like you'll be jumping in so you can grind camos or farm XP. It's going to be a mode for the real hardcore fans, which is fine. I'm totally open to that. I'm just worried that there's some false expectations going around about what this mode actually is. But to really put a pin in it, Treyarch hasn't really announced too much about the mode anyway, so people are still fair to speculate. I honestly wouldn't put it past Treyarch if the reason they came out with this curse mode is because they knew that Black Ops 7 Zombies wasn't going to change the fundamental core gameplay of the modern zombie systems, considering BO6 and 7 came out back to back. So they're trying to test the waters a bit with bringing back some classic mechanics, since they might bring them back in the future for a different Call of Duty. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave your thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on the Curse Classic mode coming to Black Ops 7 Day 1, November the 14th? Do you feel like it's not really the mode that people are making it out to be? Or do you feel like that original leak that popped up is actually what this mode will offer thanks to the Relic and Challenge system? Leave our thoughts down below. Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.